Hey guys, it's Maymay and I'm going to do something a little bit different. I've wanted to do this for a very long time. I was in Hobby Lobby a while ago and saw a guitar and music themed wall art piece that I thought my son Thomas would love. And I've gathered some supplies and I've just kind of been collecting these things over time, and then I was in Hobby Lobby this weekend and went, oh yeah, I want to make that, so I'm going to try to make it. I'm really not making exactly it because it was made out of metal and it was really nice, so I'm just kind of mimicking it. But I want to show you something. Some of you may remember this piece of sheet music because I bought this at a thrift store and I paid 10 cents for it, and it's actually the back of a music book from back in the day. This side is called God's Clock, and this side is How Great Thou Art. And when I saw it, I knew I had to have it. And my husband was like, what on earth are you going to do with that? And I said, one day this will be something worth, something to you too, because you'll be able to see what I'm going to do with it. But I love it. It even has pencil marks where someone took the notes when they were doing their studies. I think that's really cute. So I'm going to use this piece of music. I love stuff like that. I have decided to use these papers. This is going to be my guitar template, and I'm going to have to do a little work with it because it's not quite big enough, but I printed that. Matter of fact, if you're interested, I just looked online for guitar silhouette and blew it up on my printer to give myself the shape for a pattern, and I'll show you how we're going to use that. Alright, I've picked these papers for the guitar itself. I think this is going to look really good together, and I want to show you something. The guitar in the piece at Hobby Lobby is metal, so it had a shine to it. Well, guess what this is? This is the back of a Graphic 45 paper pack, and it's actually the one called, is it Communicate? Or Communique? I can't remember what it's called, but it is the paper pad that I did. I can't remember what many of them now, y'all. I'm sorry. But anyway, I saved these because I love this, and I thought this would make the coolest guitar, right? So that's going to be the body of the guitar. And then I got this picture frame this weekend at the thrift store for $3.99, and it still had the little protectors on the corner, so I was like, I'll spend $3.99 on that. And I have this Bow Bunny stamp with that big old treble clef. I'm thinking about using that. I don't know. I just really liked it, so I may use that one. And that was sent to me from Miss Judy Garner. I appreciate that very much. And what else do we need to do? Let's see. I'm trying to think if I've told you everything. I think so. Now, things are going to probably change and get altered and move around as we go. But the one thing I wanted to make sure of is that I definitely I want to decide if I want this portrait or landscape. So I've looked at it portrait. I want to glance at it in landscape mode. The way this art is the music went like this, and then the guitar is kind of in this corner like this. No, I definitely like it the other way, so I'm going to do it this way. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is I can't decide. I went ahead and measured the inside and did this at 10 3/4 by 13 3/4. That's what the center of this is going to be. Now I'm going to fill this up with some mat board because as it sits, the only thing in here right now is this cardboard. It's actually nothing. Matter of fact, let's just take it out of the container so you can see what is in here. I mean, this is even still taped to the container like it's never even been taken out. So I thought $3.99 for this frame was a pretty good deal. I don't think I would find this anywhere else for that price. So, and it's a really nice frame. Let me show you. Here's the front. See that? And here's the back. That's a really nice frame, huh? So it looks like I'm going to have to cut a piece and put in here that will be firm enough to be the back of our artwork, and that's okay. We'll get to that. So let me measure that hole and see if I can go ahead and cut the piece for it. I think that'll get us started. Now I gotta tell you something. I don't have a clue how to do this, so you're gonna just have to learn it with me, I guess. Just kind of watch me go. So we've got 12 to this point. If I scoot it down, that's 14 on the inside by 11. So it is 11 by 14 in that little piece there. So I'm going to put something in there that's 11 by 14. So let's do that. Now I'm going to be using some of this mat board to make this happen, and I'm going to go ahead and cut one of these. I'm going to cut down to 11, and that'll give me 11 by 12, and then I'm going to cut 2 inches off of this one and just put it together because I'm going to cover these with paper anyway, so that'll make it pretty sturdy. So I hope this video isn't all over the place, guys, but I really don't know exactly. I have a good idea how I'm going to do this, but I don't have it, you know, nailed down in my head. So we kind of get to learn this one together. So this will give me 11. Let's try that again. Didn't quite get through. So there's 11. And then I'm going to cut 2 inches off of this and then cut it down to 11 also. I just wanted to do this for my son Thomas is learning to play guitar. And so I just think he'll love this. He's also a big Elvis fan. So any guitar, anything like that, he's all about it. And he hasn't seen this yet, so I'm hoping he'll like it when I get it finished. He doesn't even know I'm doing it. I think it'll be a neat little surprise. Something for his room that he can hang up in there. Alright. So when I put these two together, we should get 14 inches. Let's just count it on my cutting mat. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I can. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 14 inches. So I'm going to just tape this together for now. You're not going to see it. I think I'll use this duct tape. You're not going to see it because I'm going to cover it all, but this will keep it together and give me a nice sturdy back. A sturdy piece for the backer. Love it. Now, somebody gave me a tip that if I don't pull the duct tape so hard, it will not wrinkle. And look, I didn't pull it hard and it didn't wrinkle. Great tip. You know who you are. Thank you for that. I love it. That is awesome. Turn this guy over and wrap this around. I would have never thought that worked, but you learn something new every day, right? Okay. And another piece just to get it nice and snug, or at least to get it sturdy both sides. Now I'm not sure what I want to cover this in yet. I was kind of thinking black, but I don't know if I want black in the background or not. And I'm probably going to have to piece the paper together, but the way everything's going to lay on top of it, it's not going to be a big deal. Because I don't want to paint, I want to use paper. So let me find what I'm going to put in the background. See, this is going to be like this, and then the guitar is going to be here. So I have to piece 2 pieces. That won't be a problem. I think I am going to do black back there. And I like the black in the background. I think that'll be pretty. Alright, let's do that. I'm going to put it down with some sticky tape. Because I'm going to tell you something. This sticky tape won't hold anything. And I'll put links below to everything that I can find. If you want to try to do something like this. So I'll try to put some links in there. For sticky tape or glue or anything that I use like that. There's one all done. Get this out and line this up. Now I'm not going to stress about the back too much because I think I'm going to put some fabric back there or something to kind of close that whole piece in. So I'm just going to cover the front for now. Let's put this one on the bottom and get our background nice and clean. That looks good. Let's see if it'll fit in the frame. Might should have tested that first. Might should have checked that out, but nice and snug. That's just what I wanted. Might have to trim a tiny bit off to get it to lay flat. That's pretty close. It's a little bit wrinkled. I'm going to trim a tiny bit off. Not much. And it was from the bottom here, so let me do that. I'm going to start with a little bit. I can always work my way up. Let's see if that did it. Much better. Okay, so let's check it out. That's laying nice and flat. So I'm just going to have to adhere that in there. I think I'll hot glue it in. I think that'll do it. Matter of fact, I may just run the hot glue like a bead of it like this to hold it in all the way around. But I don't think I'm going to do it yet because I want to see about putting the paper down. Because what I know now is that that's pretty much my work surface, you know, because it fits in there just right. So I'm going to lay that out. And I know now this guy, wherever I put it, and then wherever I put my guitar, this is what's going to be in the frame. Okay, so what's next? Let's work on the guitar. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is cut this out. And I'm going to cut it all the way from here because I need it to be as big as I can get it. I'm actually going to have to make it a little bit bigger than it actually is. I think I have to make it a little bit longer. But we'll see. So this is the shape of the guitar, and I'm going to cut this in some mat board. And let me see something real quick. See, I need this to be a little taller. So I'm going to extend this out with another piece of paper and make this a wee bit bigger down here. Make it come out some. So let me do that. So you see here I just added a piece of notebook paper. So I'm going to put this back where I want it, which is about like this. And I'm going to extend this down so that my guitar is a little bit longer. All this will make sense as we go. And because I feel like I'm going to cut this little bit off here, make that a little more round. And I feel like the guitar will probably cut back in at some point. I'm just going to do it like that, just so it's not a big square. Just kind of round that edge off. I just think it would look better like that. So now that'll go in the bottom corner. So there's my guitar. And I'm not worried about this because I'm actually going to extend this out too, but I'm going to use a different piece to make this portion. Alright, now then, next step. We're getting there, we're getting there. Alright, so we got a couple things to do. Number one is I want to cut this out on some mat board. And the mat board is just for thickness, just for stability is all this is for. So if you don't have mat board, you can use anything. You can use cardboard or thick chipboard, because like I said, this is just for stability, just to make it a little bit meatier. That's all we're going to do here. So I'm going to trace this and then cut it out. So there's our guitar shape. That's cool. I like it. Alright, let's cut that. Okay, so I have these two little scraps, but I'm not going to get rid of this because I told you I was going to extend this neck of the guitar out. So I'm not going to get rid of this just yet. I'm probably going to use that in a few minutes. So now I want to cover this with a pretty paper. I'm going to cover it with this guy. And what I'm going to do is just glue this down in one corner like so, and then cut it out with my X-Acto knife. So let's glue this really, really well. That's going to be so pretty. Okay, let's cut it out. Where's my X-Acto knife? I'm always having to find that dude. There he is. Okay. If you're not confident with an X-Acto, you can certainly do this with your scissors, just like we just cut the mat board out with it. So, whatever you're comfortable with. So, look at that. It's looking like a guitar. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to file these edges down. I have this distressing tool from Close to My Heart, and I'm going to just take it and run around these edges and get this all like one piece and get it nice and smooth. Okay, now something else I'm going to do. I want to show you. See the white around the edge? I'm going to ink that, but I want this to be really distressed, because I want this to look a little more worn. So I'm really getting in here and scratching at it. I want this to look like a very loved guitar. Okay, so we got that done. Now it's time to play with some ink. And I'm going to use my ink blending tool, and I'm going to use Vintage Photo. I'm just going to ink it up really good. Because I don't want that edge white, but I wanted it to look distressed. Okay, so there is that part of the guitar. Now I want to show you something else. On our pattern, which I have to find now. See these pieces? I want to put those on there. I think they're really cool looking. So I'm going to cut these out now that I've used my pattern for what I need it for. And just come in here and just cut these away. So this one will go in this area. Oh, that's going to be cool. Okay, let's do the other one. Okay, so I have two patterns, and they will go on either side of the guitar. Something like this. Something like that. And I'll cut those out of some paper in a minute. I also want to get this piece and this piece out of here. So that'll go in here, and this will go up here. Like so. And now I'm going to get rid of these scrap pieces. Remember the scrap piece of mat board we had? I'm going to cut these two pieces out of mat board so they can have a little dimension on them too. So let's trace these guys out. Put you in this corner. Alright, let's cut those out. So I have this metal paper. Ooh, that is bright on the screen. I'm going to cut the piece off of it. And I'm going to cut those pieces out of this so there'll be a little metal on our guitar. And I'll probably ink them with something, or I'll try that. I don't know if I can or not, but we'll see. So I'm going to glue these pieces down here and then trim them out with my X-Acto. Now these can't be pristine, so we need to sand them as well, because that won't look good if they're perfect. Now I love this paper. I think this will look really cool to be these guys right here. So I'm going, which side do I like? The lighter side? I really think that one's prettier. I'm going to trace these guys onto this paper. And then cut them out. Okay, so we cut these guys out, so I don't need these anymore. And now I'm going to take this scrap piece of paper and ink these. And I'm going to go ahead and ink these guys while we're inking. I'd say what these are called, but I don't know. I just know they're on the pattern, so they get put in. Okay, our guitar is really getting there. It's really taking shape. Alright, let me clean up just a little bit and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and adhere these down, because I don't think that's going to hurt anything if we go ahead and do that. So let's put these down. So our guitar will be kind of together. It's got a few more things I want to do to it. That looks pretty cool. Alright, now where did these guys go? I can't remember. I gotta look at my... I have a second one because I was going to do something else I decided not to do. So let's look at this one and see if it'll help me. So this one goes pretty low. This guy needs to move over. I don't know if I can move him over. I'm going to try to. Ooh, I got lucky, y'all. That came right off. Good deal. So maybe I should put this down and then put that down. So about down here. Okay. This is kind of centered down that piece. Doesn't have to be perfect. And this guy. Something like that. I think that is right. Okay, now let's put this guy back. I think like that. You know, if you didn't have a shiny piece of paper like this, I think you could do this with Mod Podge or a clear gloss sealant. Just do this and then paint the whole thing with some clear gloss and you get the same, you still get a shiny effect. Oh my goodness, I love this guitar. It's looking cool. Okay, so let's work on the song paper now. Now I want to really ink up the edges of this. So, got my vintage photo here. And I'm going to come into the edges. I'm so excited to get to use this. I have wanted to use this ever since I bought it. I just waited and waited because I knew the right project would come along. I want this to be darker, and I think this is not dark enough on this orange. Let's try a different color. This is some brown stays on because I don't have a different color, so let's try it. Yep, I like that better. Alright, so we got that all done. Look how pretty that looks. Now let's work on the back side. Let's see. Look how that's going to look on there. Oh, it's going to be so cool. I love it. Let's just see what the guitar looks like. I want to just peek. Oh, that's going to be neat. I think he's going to like it. I think I'm going to want to pop this up on some dimension and kind of get it lifted up a little bit, you know, off of this. So it's not right on it, but we'll talk about that. How we're going to do that. I do want that down. Now I think I want some pattern back here. So let's talk about that. Okay, so I got my Versamark out, and remember this stamp set I told you about? I think I'm going to emboss this all over this background. Because I really, really like it. Let's see. I definitely want to use this big old treble clef. Ooh. Got some more paper to put down so I can dump that embossing powder out on it. Let me fold it so it'll be ready to go. Alright, and let's start here at the top. I'm going to use a silver embossing powder. Since I used that silver metal, I think that'll look cool. So I'm just going to put this one here. I'm going to do several of them all the way across the top. Then I'm going to use this big music piece. I'm just going to put it on the back side of my block real quick. I'm going to run it up here. That's pretty. Then, what have I got? Little music notes will look cool. I don't know if I'm going to run out of time here. I might need to hurry. Let me just be real fast. Meaning, I hope that doesn't dry too quick. These are cool little music notes. Okay, let's get some powder on it. And I didn't use a powder tool because I don't really care if there's little pieces. It'll just look more distressed. Isn't that cool looking? All right, let me heat it. Well, let's clean this up first. Okay, so that top portion is done, so check this out. So now when we put this back, that'll show behind it. Won't that be pretty? And then of course the guitar's gonna go there. But I need to do this portion down here because that's gonna show just a little bit. So I'm just gonna do a couple of those stamps down here. Okay, so the embossing is done at the top and the bottom. And I think that looks really good. I think it turned out nice. And it's a little bit warm. I'm gonna lay it flat so it can kind of flatten back out. Okay, let's decide where we're gonna put the paper so I can know for sure, because I'm going to cut it away in some places where we don't need it. Let's bring the guitar back over. Like so. I think that's a good spot. I like it just like that. So, let's glue it down. I'm not going to lift it up on dimension or anything. I want it to be like the background. I'm not gluing the very edges because I want them to be kind of worn and tattered looking. I want them to kind of stick off. I'm going to start with that top and let it dry, and then I'll work my way down the bottom. I'm going to glue this piece down in a kind of folded position because I want it to stay. I don't want to cut that away. I want you to see that kind of turned up piece. This is going to be so pretty. I love it. I don't know if I'm going to want to put it in his room. We may want to keep it where we can see it. It's definitely going to be his though. Alright, I'm going to turn this over and I'm just going to cut this away where it hangs off the edge. So let's look at it. Oh, it looks good. I like it a lot. Alright, let me go back to the guitar. And it will be in this area. But I'm thinking I'm going to put this into the frame and then adhere this kind of sticking up like that so it's not directly down. That looks really good. I'm going to stop here for now. This will be a two-part video, and what I'm going to do is when we come back, I'm going to work on the neck of the guitar because I want to do something specific here, and then work on putting it in the frame and kind of lifting this up to get some dimension on it, and then I think we'll be done with it. But I'm going to do it in two parts because it's getting kind of long, and I hope you guys enjoyed this part, and join me for part two, and we will finish this guy up and we will put it on the wall and take pictures of it. So I hope you enjoyed this one. This one's been kind of fun to kind of play around with. Alright guys, I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.